So I don't know if you can see this, but my front of the car is just absolutely caked in ice right now. Hello everyone, welcome. I am here to basically do an intro for this video. I was running through it and realized that there's some additional context that's required on this. And I'm still getting used to filming everything just right, so I figured I'd jump in, edit it this way, and then improve it in the future. But basically what we're doing today is actually doing a road trip from Red Deer all the way up to Whitecourt with a couple stops in between. So first we got to go up to Edmonton and then drop off our daughter at grandparents' place, and then we'll go up to Whitecourt as well, and then come back down, stay in Edmonton, and then the next day we're going back to Red Deer. You kind of join us in the action actually halfway through the trip. We're at our first charging stop actually in Edmonton. The previous night we charged up to 100%. It had finished maybe a couple hours before we left. We headed out, it was about minus 18, 19, and quickly got to minus 20, minus 23 by the time we hit my parents' place. When we started charging, it was same at the minus 20. The car navigation actually did kick on preconditioning to get to this charger, but it didn't really do what I was expecting. So I'm discovering that preconditioning on this vehicle, if you're going to a charger, actually requires a lot of time. And so I think in the future, I'll be doing some things differently, but you'll hear me talk about that later. So we're going to jump in at the charger, and yeah, I'll jump in at various states just to kind of let you know what's going on. Enjoy. Well, hello everyone. You joined me on another adventure here this morning. We actually have some business to attend to in Whitecourt, so we are headed up there, which is about 200 kilometers-ish, a little bit less than that, up in the to the west of Edmonton. We have already come up from Red Deer, hit up my parents' place, did about 170k, and landed here with about 80%, and we're kind of ready to go. So I'm gonna unplug, get us going, see where that takes us. All right, I'm just gonna record as we go here and give you the update on what's going on. Basically, what the quick math is it's about 190 kilometers up to Whitecourt. From here, we just actually charged up to 90% at Electrify Canada. Full station, but very thankful for the charging curve of this vehicle because we got in and out there basically I think about as fast as we could. It was 40 minutes, just over that, and yeah, it was all good. So we are now, I'm going to go pick up Carrie Lynn. We needed to run over to Starbucks. Her motion sickness was really bugging her today. So, but she's gonna actually drive us over to Whitecourt, and we're gonna have some fun and keep you updated along the way. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we are now officially on our way, and of course hitting traffic just outside of the Henday. And yeah, it'll be fun. We had a little bit of an adventure grabbing food, and I went back and grabbed the car. Carolyn was not feeling so well, so we're now on the road, and we're going to see if that fixes it. But we are planning to go 182 kilometers to our destination here, where and end with 14% battery. So that'll be fine. It'll give us lots of time to do what we need to do, and then we'll go and charge at the Tesla charger nearby, and then from there head back home. But yeah, see how it goes. It's currently what, minus 18? Nice. All right, cool, we'll have some fun. I was also mentioning earlier that there was another vehicle that was charging there, and I was very thankful for the charging curve here, but it was a Ford Lightning that pulled up, I think at about 50%. And when I left, they were at 88% and still charging, and we had been stopped charging for about 7 or 8 minutes. So,
and we rolled in with what?
We rolled in with 28.35, something like that.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Tight ship. yeah, so we rolled in at a much lower state of charge and managed to get up there. I'll confirm that number later, but yeah, so happy with that. All right, so I don't know why I was on this case so much, but you'll see I continue rambling on about this. I want to be very clear. I'm not lording this over anybody. I genuinely am curious about all the different charging curves. And even though it was really cold and our charge took longer than expected, I was actually curious about the Lightning because we'd previously owned a Mach-E. So for me, this is more about, oh my gosh, look at how much this has improved for us and the way that we drive. Not necessarily digging at the fact that F-150 Lightning owners may be expecting a lower state of charge. It's fine. It works really well and it still charges up in a very reasonable amount of time. So just want to shout that in there. All right, so we got the actual data on our charge now and just looked it up, and we were theorizing that maybe it was an extended range F-150 Lightning with the 131 kilowatt hours usable. But the 35% jump that I saw them get probably only amounts to about 50 kilowatts, and we actually dumped in about 74 kilowatt hours from 29% to 89%. So that's excellent, and I really can't complain about it. I love the fact that this car charges that fast. We're just driving through here, about halfway through, and look at this bridge.
Very cool.
Really cool. I have never actually been on this road before, so this is my first time seeing it. Wow. Yeah, didn't expect that. But give you the quick update here. We are now 51 kilometers away. It wants us to do, let's see, 29. We're at 29% remaining. Stay on the road. Thank you. We've done average efficiency at 3.0 kilometers per kilowatt hour. It is currently minus 23 degrees Celsius. I cannot get that to focus, but it is. We've been doing 110 the whole way.
The cabin is warm.
The cabin is fantastic. That was actually something we just commented on, was I cannot believe how good the heat in this thing is compared to our last experience with the Mach-E. So yeah, we're really enjoying that, and just jamming to some tunes and working away. Well, it looks like we actually made it. 33%, I think, going under the speed limit, not even under the speed limit, going at the speed limit actually really helped us out there, so we're doing good. Got 101 kilometers indicated range, and we're just gonna kind of go take care of some business, and uploading a website right now, and yeah, we'll be good to go. Finishing temperature was minus 20 degrees Celsius. Our efficiency was negative, or 3.0 kilometers per kilowatt hour. So really happy with that. And yeah, heat was fantastic the entire way through. Well, we just got to Whitecourt, got finished, and we're just kind of touring the town, but found a kind of matching little buddy here, which is really cool. Love it. Just made an observation that I think this is the same trim. It's a GT line, but they actually went and got the smaller wheels and tires from a different, I believe, the Land trim. Smart move. Get the winter tires on that, and then probably use your GT line wheels for the summer. All right, so we finished kind of touring the town, checking out the rest center, just doing a bunch of things and seeing what we liked about the place. And then we actually headed down the road to a Tesla supercharger. It's the only fast charger in town that of a reasonable speed that'll let us kind of do things. And unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of the actual charging session, so I'll just tell you what happened based on my my notes here. Basically, the quick and dirty is that we plugged in. It started off, but it was pretty cold battery, so we sat at about 60 to 70 kilowatts for the first little while. After about 5-10 minutes, it jumped up to about 90 to 100 kilowatts. And then about 2 or 3 minutes later, it jumped up to the full 126 kilowatts that the 2026 vehicles are capable of. So it was okay. It still was a 45 to 50 minute charging session, but we dumped in about 75 kilowatts and we were good to go and at 90%. And then we just had to kind of prep the vehicle to get ready for the next leg. So here we are. We kind of parked in a interesting arrangement just to make sure that we didn't block anyone. But we should be able to Just gotta unlock the car. Plug that back in. And then gotta get the freaking snow brush because it is nasty out here. Just gotta make sure that this is all freaking cleared off, because there's nothing worse than getting on the highway and realizing you can't see. Okay, there we go. Everything's good there. Clean this little guy off. Make sure that's clear. All right. And clean this little guy. Clean that little guy. And we should be good to go. All right, so at this point, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We've done the charge that we thought we could do, which was great. Everything's working out theoretically. We had a Tim Hortons. We're in good spirits. We're ready to go. Until we kind of hit some weather we did not expect to hit. And I am sure this is something that some other people may have experienced, but for myself and Carrie Lynn, this was actually our first time ever experiencing this kind of weather. So I'll let you jump in, see what it is, but just as a warning, it's a bit chaotic at this point. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced this issue, and we're going to make it quick because it just killed our defog, but we're having a problem where the snow is hitting the windshield and freezing instantly. I don't know if this is a common EV9 issue, but this is definitely something that I haven't noticed before on any other vehicles, and definitely is making driving home a bit more challenging. We'll get it done. So, turns out, not just an EV9 problem. We pulled over in a rest stop, and a lot of other people are having the same issue we are, which is freezing rain at -20. Yeah, so we got the windshield cleared off. We're gonna see if that helps, and we're gonna take it slow, I think. So we'll go from here. So I don't know if you can see this, but my front of the car is just absolutely caked in ice right now, and I can't get it off. We don't really have a choice but to keep going right now. The windshield is starting to de-thaw a little bit, but we're gonna be stopping probably every 5-10 minutes, scrape it off, keep going. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna show you what I've done. I've actually managed to unblock just the part of the headlights that I need. So hopefully we can get a little bit more light. We just stopped again, and yeah, it's gonna be a thing. We haven't made much progress. We've only done 81 kilometers, and we got 138 to go. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so quick update. We ended up actually having a hell of a time getting back from the storm. Ended up a little bit later to our showing that we thought, so we couldn't charge before. And by the time the movie done, the battery was very cold, so we had a bit of a slower charging station thing, but it took its time. It got up to 140 kilowatts in the end. Once the battery warmed up, we only charged up to about 65%. We're now at my parents' place. We're gonna plug in on a level 1 charger overnight. Should add another 15% on the battery, and that should be enough to get us home. But I will reconvene with you pretty quickly at my desk, and we can go over some numbers. All right, well, that's all I really have to share with you at this time, other than just kind of a summary of what we saw and some charging costs. Basically, what we ended up traveling over the course of 2 days. All I filmed was this first day. This first day was 605-ish kilometers. In order to travel that amount, it cost us about $100 and $105, I think. And this was mostly because we actually burned about 200 kilowatt hours. And because we used public charging, it's about 50 cents a kilowatt hour for that. We used Electrify Canada, which was 48 cents a kilowatt hour, and we used Tesla, which was, I believe, 56 cents a kilowatt hour. So we were right kind of stuck in the middle on those two. Then we also had a small overnight charging session that was free, just pulling in If I were to count the next day's travel, which is actually the journey back home, it added an extra 182 kilometers on that. So for a total of 790-ish kilometers round trip. And because once I got home, I could actually use my home power level 2 charger, the costing was actually much cheaper. And so it looks like it was actually only adds an additional $5-ish on top because we didn't use much power. I think we used about 60 kilowatt hours, 60, 70 kilowatt hours. And at that rate, at 13 cents a kilowatt hour, we're sitting at about that $7 to $8. So all in all, if I overestimate, $115-ish on fuel or electricity. But what I did was actually I ran a comparison of, say, if I do a regular vehicle that does 8.1 liters per 100 kilometers, and over that course of the time with a $1.26 fuel price here in Canada, you'd actually result in a fuel cost of $130 actually. So we actually still went ahead of what I thought we were. Initially, when I got back, I was pretty discouraged about the fact that we spent $100 in electricity. But looking back, because I didn't include that extra trip home, the money actually works out, basically. The entire time, we saw about 3.0 kilometers per kilowatt hours. There was a huge temperature discrepancy between the 2 days. So we started at minus 20, but by the end of day 2, we were up to 0 degrees up in Red Deer as well. So efficiency was up at 3.2, 3.4, but sometimes we were down at 2.9. So right around the 3.0, 3.1, that's kind of where this vehicle was sitting, and that was okay with us. Yeah, other than that, lessons learned on what it's like to drive this particular vehicle in the snow. Couple quick things. One, a lot of people are talking about the snow accumulation in the wiper blade area. We definitely experience this. If it sits and snow blows and kind of collects in that area, it gets much harder to kind of get the wipers cleared and do that kind of a thing. But once it's cleared, it's okay. But we had to figure that out. Number 2, get proper winter tires no matter what you do with this vehicle. It's a heavy vehicle. It needs proper winter tires. We do have dedicated winter tires for this, but they are an EV winter tire. After much fiddling with the car and doing kind of stuff, I think the traction could be better with a dedicated winter tire that was non-EV specific, but still weight rated for them. Other than that, fogging was probably the only major issue that we ran into from a heating system. We were constantly kind of battling with making sure that the fog was not overwhelming our windows. I have a feeling also this is because we were in and out of the vehicle quite a bit with snow on our boots, and it would start to melt and start to, have some moisture content in the car as well. So I don't know exactly how to prevent that, but yeah, it handled this whole trip fantastic. I'm not unhappy about the way it did. I'm unhappy about the amount of footage I got on this particular trip because I ended up talking to you more than I had things to present. So I'm going to do a better job of that in the future. I hope you'll continue to watch and let me know what you want to see. But at least I got to share this experience with you. So thank you for listening along. And yeah, I hope to see you in future episodes.